Pinehesy. Panehasy, or Panehasy, depending on the transliteration, was Viceroy of Kush during the reign of Ramesses XI, the last king of the Egyptian 20th dynasty. The sources. He is named in the following dated sources. 1. His name appears in the very damaged first lines on the verso of Pap. B.M. 10,053. This text is dated to an anonymous year 9, which stems from the reign of Ramesses XI, but might be ascribed either to his actual year 9 or alternatively to year 9 of the WHM-MSWT, a somewhat enigmatic year this king started in his 19th regnal year. In the latter case, this text would actually stem from his 27th regnal year. This mention has often been taken as evidence that Panehasy was in office at the time of this year 9 and took part in the court case which is described in the document. However, it has been pointed out that that is an over-interpretation of the evidence. There is no title remaining, so the reference need not even have been to the well-known viceroy. The name was not uncommon, and even if we are dealing with the viceroy, the context is too damaged to ascertain how the name functioned in the text. E.g., it cannot be excluded that the name may have been part of some back reference to a period in the recent past, e.g., a time when Pinehasy suppressed the high priest rather than to an actual participant in a procedures. 2. In the Turin taxation papyrus, stemming from a year 12 of Ramesses XI again, either the actual year 12 or year 12 of the WHM-MSWT, he is mentioned as Viceroy of Kush. It is clear from the source that he was in office at the time. 3. In year 17 of Ramesses XI, he is mentioned in his capacity as Viceroy of Kush in a letter the king wrote to him. See the picture heading this article. 4. In sources from the first 2 years of the WHM-MSWT, roughly equaling year 19 and 20 of Ramesses XI, he is described as a public enemy and someone far away, belonging to the past. These sources are Pap. Mayor 13b3 Pap. B.M. 10,052-1018 Pap. B.M. 10,383, 25. 5. In late Ramesses letter no. 28 Pap. B.M. 10,375 from a year 10 safely ascribable to the WHM-MSWT. It is mentioned that the general and high priest Panehasy is about to go to Pinehesy. Action against the high priest Amenhotep. Sometime during the reign of Ramesses XI, Pinehasy succeeded in temporarily removing the Theban high priest of Ammon, Amenhotep, from office. This action is often referred to as the war against the high priest or the suppression of the high priest Amenhotep. However, in a very detailed study, Kim Rydog has shown that the traditional translation suppression of the Egyptian term thj is misleading, since it suggests that Amenhotep was somehow besieged and or robbed of his freedom. The term rather denotes a more general act of aggression. Therefore, a more neutral translation like transgression against the high priest is to be preferred. Although this transgression against the high priest of Ammon used to be dated quite early in the reign prior to year 9 of the reign on the basis of Pap. B.M. 10,053, recently the community's opinion has changed to the view that it took place only shortly before the start of the WHM-MSWT or Renaissance, an era which was inaugurated in regnal year 19, probably to stress the return of normal conditions following the coup of Pinehasy. Pinehasy and Pank. Following his transgression, Pinehasy was chased out of the Thebans, although it is not entirely clear who ended this anarchic period. It seems that Pinehasy more or less maintained his position in Nubia for over a decade. Some 10 years after the suppression, in year 10 of the WHM-MSWT, the then high priest of Ammon Pank, in his position as Viceroy of Kush, led an army into Nubia with the apparent aim to meet a certain Pinehasy, probably the former Viceroy of Kush. Although it is often postulated that it was the aim of this expedition to attack Panehasy, this is by no means certain. The verb used has the more general meaning to go to rather than attack. The negative determinative which was used in the tomb robbery papyri to designate him as an enemy is absent. Other Egyptologists have suggested that Pank may have rather gone south to negotiate with Panehasy, either officially or not. The sources are actually ambiguous on this point, and the political climate may well have changed over the years. There is some evidence that at this time Pank may no longer have been a loyal servant of Ramesses XI, which allows for the possibility that he was secretly negotiating with Pinehasy, possibly even plotting against the reigning king. Went wrote, one has the impression that the Viceroy and his Nubian troops were loyalists, for the remarks made by his opponent Paink in letter no. 300 when are quite disparaging of the Pharaoh, Ramesses XI. In this letter, better known as LRL number 21, Paink remarks, unfortunately, due to the very limited nature of the sources, the exact relationships between the three main protagonists, Paink, Panehasy, and Ramesses XI remain far from clear. Some scholars believe that the Nubian campaign was part of an ongoing power struggle between the High Priest of Ammon and the Viceroy of Kush. However, it is equally possible that Paink came to the rescue of Pinehesy against some common enemy. In fact, neither the aim of the expedition nor its outcome are beyond doubt. It has also been argued that shortly afterwards Paink disappeared off the stage, with the Viceroy Panehasy being reinvested in his former position as Viceroy, which would only be possible with the consent of Ramesses XI, either willingly or not. It seems that Panehasy died of old age while still in control of Lower Nubia. He was buried in Nineveh, where a tomb inscribed with his name was discovered.